Deshaun, you guys were obviously down in Miami a couple weeks ago together, you, SHEDEUR, your teammates. How much have you seen carry over from what you guys were able to kind of get accomplished down there as you know, kind of eased into, gotten into camp?
I think the biggest thing that has been carrying over is just the relationships that we built. The time, not just on the field, but just off the field, hanging out, going to dinner, and just being around each other has been great. So you can see the chemistry and the bond between the team is definitely really good.
Deshaun, how do you feel like you have performed in your first 3 days of camp so far?
It's been decent, just working on the different situations that we go through each and every day. So just trying to master that as long as, learning the new system. Of course, we had all spring weeks to kind of learn the system, but, one camp, there's a lot of different changes and things like that he kind of throws in. So it's been well, just trying to stack each and every day. You can't win all the days at once, so you just got to take one day at a time and, correct the mistakes that you make and build from there.
Deshaun, the other day, Coach Monken was talking about cadence. Says he wants to have at least 10 in a given game, 10 different cadences. Is that a lot? Have you been through your days where you had to know that many cadences for a game?
Yeah, actually, when I first got into the league, that was very heavy in Bill O'Brien's system. That was from the Patriots, Tom Brady tree. So everything was required for the quarterback to make the reads, the points, the cadences, and just make sure that everyone was on the same page. So it's definitely something that I'm familiar with.
Physically, Deshaun, how do you feel?
I feel really good. I feel healthy. Just got to continue to just build that football shape. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm working on through this process each and every day. Just try to build that endurance, build that football shape, because it's been a while since I've really been on the field with 11 on 11.
Is it tough at all going back and forth? One day you're with the ones, one day you're with the twos?
Yeah, I mean, it can be because it's hard to build that rhythm. But, at the same time, you as a quarterback, you try to lock in. You got to be a leader out there, and you got to bring everybody to that standard. And you all got to play that way. So regardless of what group you're in with or who you're in there with, you just got to make sure you execute at a high level. So it's definitely challenging, but at the same time, you can't make that as an excuse, in this job.
I know we've heard other quarterbacks talk about this, but in these training camp practices especially, what's like the fine line for you as a quarterback with testing things out versus like not wanting to make mistakes, not being afraid to make mistakes, like that sort of thing?
I think it just depends on the period and what we're working on. Some certain things that we work on is like, third and long. So, we have those opportunities. We talk in a meeting. If you get this look or you get certain things, then let's be a little bit more aggressive. This is the time to see if you can make those throws, if the receivers can get their depth, have those timing routes. But this is the perfect time to be able to make all the mistakes you possibly can because, it doesn't really count. And you don't want to get into a game and you haven't ran that or tried it out and you tried it in a game and it goes wrong. So, yeah, there's a fine line between, but you just got to know and understand what we're working on.
Deshaun, I know it'll intensify when the pads come on, but so far in training camp, what is the offense getting from the looks that the defense is giving you guys out there on the daily?
It's multiple. I mean, they're doing all types of different stuff, showing us different things. So it's really good, especially for the quarterbacks, running backs, and the O-line, just protection-wise. They're showing us different things each and every time. And then each group is getting different looks. So just because the first group is going up and you think the second group is going to get the same look, they switch it up on us. So it's been awesome for us to be in the meeting rooms and see the different things and try to work on it now.
So Deshaun, given that this is the time to kind of make a few mistakes and air it out a little bit, how concerned are you with the fact that we've seen those back-to-back interceptions on day one and then another one to Quincy yesterday? Are these just things that are going to happen early on in practice when you're just trying to figure out how far you can take things?
Of course. I mean, again, it goes back with timing. Certain things that, the little things with depth and the type of when the ball is coming out and chasing coming back down to the catch point. But then again, we have a really, really good defense, so they're going to make plays too. So again, like I said, sometimes you want to be aggressive and they're going to make plays. We're going to make plays. So I think it would be really bad if we're, completing all the balls and touchdowns and they weren't making plays. But we have a really good defense and we have a really good offense. We love to compete and, again, we learn from those, and I put that in the memory bank, so I know that, versus this look and this play, that I got to be a little bit more cautious on trying to be aggressive.
What was
Deshaun,
the thing on the Quincy one yesterday? What did you see on that play? What really
Just try to squeeze it in on the IB route towards the middle. That was something that Quincy, even when I talked to him, it was a wing set, and he saw the chip, so he came backside, and our progressions on the right side. So being able to just see the backside coverage on a lot of things, that happened on the first day also. So that's something that, again, I go up to him, he comes to me, he tells me different things, and then, when we get them on the opposite side, he comes to me and asks me what I'm looking at. So it's been really good to learn from each other and compete.
Deshaun, the GoPro cameras, how are those used in meetings, and what are you getting out of the GoPro cameras?
The biggest thing with the GoPros is just being able to see where our eyes are. First off, in the huddle, being able to call the plays, see who we're looking at, and then once we get up there, seeing our eye progression. Whenever the ball snaps, seeing where our eyes are going, looking at the defense, and it's a good point of view, a different point of view for us to be able to, learn and study.
Deshaun, how much of getting back to form and playing at the level you want to is, kind of getting back to the speed of the game? Is that something you think you're still kind of getting acclimated to?
Man, that's gonna grow. I think I can't remember who mentioned it, but that's when the pads come on and things kind of really get, bullets are really flying. But the biggest thing for me is just let my instincts take over. So not doing that, not doing anything extra, and not doing anything less. Just kind of just staying balanced and letting it come. So day to day is getting better, and honestly, I think the biggest thing is just playing football. So whenever the preseason games come up and we're out there playing, I think that's what we can learn. And just each game is just an opportunity to get better at it.
Deshaun, just kind of off of that, how important is how much are you kind of looking forward to getting to play some preseason snaps, whether it's all 3 games, 2, whatever that Coach Monken decides to do?
I'm looking forward to it. I haven't played football in a long time, so for me, it doesn't matter how long I play, how many games I play. I just want to play football. A lot of people wrote me off and said that I wouldn't be playing football again after 2 Achilles injuries. So, I'm proving that wrong and I'm proving myself right. So, it's a great opportunity for me to get out there and showcase what I can do.
Coach Monken has talked about, now that you're healthy, your athletic ability, your mobility and all that, and he wants to utilize that. Not a lot, but more designed runs. How do you feel about that part of the offense that you're stepping into?
I'm comfortable with it. We had short talks about that, but and again, I think he knows. He came from a guy in Lamar who won 2 MVPs and used his legs as much as he's throwing, and I think he knows how to call the right plays at the right time for the quarterback to be able to use his feet. So I'm going to trust him and the coaching staff, and whenever those plays called, just try to execute.
Do you have a time in mind when you're hoping that coach makes a decision on the starter?
I have no idea. I think every day, just taking it one day at a time. And I think, the organization and coach is going to make the best decision for the team, and we just got to go from there.
Deshaun, what would it be like for you if you do come out and play like you did in 2020, to go 6 years without to come back and play like that? How incredible would that be?
I mean, it'd be awesome. That's what I'm playing. That's what I'm training for and working for. So that's what's been in my mind the whole time, is just playing really, really good, productive football so we can win a lot of games here. And that's the ultimate job. You got to win in this business, and if you're not winning, then they're going to find somebody else. But, that's the ultimate job, is to come out, play well, produce, and win.
Couple more.
Talk about the rookies impressing, especially Casey and Denzel, but at the big picture of all of the rookies, how impressed have you been, and how much do you think that these new guys are going to help the offense and just the team in general?
Yeah, I think Casey and Boston has been doing a heck of a job picking up the offense, being able to learn from the other veteran receivers in the room, but just making plays. And I think just being able to see them come out here and just go up for balls, make contested catches, has been really good. I think they're going to be very productive and helpful for this offense.
How does your accuracy feel? I mean, the last time you played live ball in 2024, you said your arm wasn't completely 100%.
Right.
So how does it feel now? How's the ball coming out? Is it going exactly where you want it to go? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think this is 2 years removed from my shoulder injury, really 3 years, 23. So, coming back in 24, I was only like 7, 8 months from that injury. Wasn't where I was comfortable with it, but, when they're investing, you got to play, so you got to perform. But you can't make that as an excuse. But right now, sitting here talking to you guys, I feel very comfortable, very strong, fluent. You know, now it's just building that trust within the receivers because everyone runs different routes. We have different type of guys. So just being able to call that trust and let it rip. I think that's the biggest thing, and don't be afraid of it. So.
We talked to Jimmy yesterday, and he was asked about the potential of you potentially coming back next year, and he kind of left the door open, saying that anything could happen. Do you kind of view it in that same light that there is potentially a future here still in Cleveland?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think when I first got here, it was a lot of stuff going on, as the world know. But I don't have no bad feeling towards Cleveland. I love Cleveland. Me and my wife, we got our house on the east side, so we here all the time. We were here this summer. If you ask around, I'm at pretty much all the restaurants. I'm hanging out, so I haven't had a bad experience outside of, just different times in the stadium. But again, I don't know why that narrative is out there that people think that I don't like Cleveland and my family. We've been enjoying it. We've been enjoying our time here, and yeah, that if the opportunity shows up, and we'll see where it goes. But you good.
Last year when you weren't playing, you were still in meeting and helping Gabriel and Sanders in their rookie year. What does SHEDEUR look like now, the year after?
Yeah, he's definitely improved. He's grown a lot. You can see within his fundamentals, his reads, being able to execute, call the plays. So you can tell he's a lot more comfortable, and that he's been putting in the work to be able to be where he is right now.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.